All right, Shalom, Shalom, Barakatah Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakakwadash. Double honors to our apostles and elder bishops here at Great Millstone. Shalom to you brothers, all right, who are doing the work in truth with all sincerity. All right, so with this lesson, I want to go over some information, some stuff that I was just thinking about. And the title for this lesson, I was going to label, or I was just going to title it, Esau has finally reached, you know, that level, that high tier level that he's always wanted to reach, that godlike or God tier level, And yeah, well, what he's doing in the world, man, there is no doubt that this is the end. Esau is the end of the world. Okay. There's a lot going on. Um, you know, there's a lot to talk about, and yeah, so I want to start with, this conversation I've had with Chat really quickly. Are there known philanthropists who has predicted the future of technology? Of course, it says yes. Bill Gates, Peter Diamond, Diamondis, Ray Kurzweil, Elon Musk. I ain't really want those guys. I want to. I was really. I told it I meant men in the 1800s and the early 1900s. So yes, during the 1800s and early 1900s, several industrialists, inventors, financiers, and philanthropists made striking predictions about future technology, infrastructure, and society. Many helped shape the modern world through both innovation and large-scale philanthropy. All right. Major historical figures who foresaw technological futures. Okay. Nikola Tesla, of course, predicted wireless global communication, portable personal communication devices, renewable energy possibilities, remote control machines. And that's because they were probably having visions of these things. They were most likely they were having visions of this, you know, of the future. Okay. And yeah. Also I forgot to say I want to touch on a little bit of news as of late. But yeah, most likely, you know, Esau has been, dealing with the left hand, dealing in witchcraft, summoning demons, and all of those type of things because they just been in that occultic, you know, side of things. Okay, and most likely they predicted the future because of them probably most likely having visions. All right, and a lot of things that came to them. All right, whether it was technological breakthroughs, came by way of visions. Okay, and we know the Lord put the Spirit on him to do so. Okay, and the scriptures quite clearly tell us, Job goes into it. Let me see, 33, and the point being in let me see, in 15, so 33 and 14, excuse me. For God speaketh once, yea twice, yet man perceiveth it not, in a dream and a vision of the night, when deep sleep falleth upon men, and slumberings upon the bed. When it comes to Esau, they're thinking of evil. The scriptures tell you, you know, they lie on their beds and they think about, evil things that they can do. And of course, being in the left on the left hand side of things and that occultic side of things, dealing with demons and all of that, of course, they got a little help. All right. So it says, in a dream and a vision of the night, when deep sleep falleth upon men, and in slumberings upon the bed, then he openeth the ears of men and sealeth their instructions. And Esau's he's been raised up to be, to the level he is now. Okay. The Lord, and then that's the Lord's doing. Okay. So some slacking. Let me go back. All right. So here it says Andrew Carnegie, 1835 to 1919, steel magnate, philanthropists believe industrialization of wood reshaped civilization, which it has. Education and libraries would drive future societal advancement. Wealth should be used to improve society. Gospel of wealth. Okay. Funded libraries, universities, scientific institutions. John D. Rockefeller, oil titan and philanthropist, and we know about him. Understood energy infrastructure would determine modern economies. Scientific medicine and research would transform human life. Funded medical research, public health systems, universities. Yeah, and they pretty much monopolized the medical industry. Um, he put an end to holistic healing, you know, and brought about the synthetics in the medical industry. So J.P. Morgan, 1837 to 1913, financier who backed electricity, railroads, of course. But these are just the Joe Schmo. These are, this ain't what I really was looking for. So I asked it, what about men who predicted and predicted, I didn't mean to put that, but surveillance and technology ruling the world. So several thinkers, writers, and don't for a second believe that, that they just got this out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? They didn't get none of this out of nowhere. These were strategically planted in them, whether it was through the occultic, mainly, most likely. All right. And then, of course, the Lord using angels just to, regardless, left hand, right hand, right? Same thing. All right. They all, and what I mean by that, they all are under strict orders from the Heavenly Father. So several thinkers, writers, inventors, and social critics from the 1800s to early 1900s warned that advancing technology, centralized power, and surveillance could evolve into systems of control, of social control. So when you think about the chip, and most of these guys, they had to read the Bible at one point, okay, especially the prophecies. When you think about the chip, it wasn't just some thing that they just thought up, out of nowhere. This was pre-planned. This was something, a vision that they probably had long ago. And now they're reaching that desired tier. All right, you know. Lord willing, this is making sense, and I'm really just going in the spirit. So, and I do have just tidbit news, so bear with me. All right. So key historical figures who foresaw surveillance, technocracy, or technology dominated societies. George Orwell, right, is a famous one we all know. 1903 to 1950. In 1984, 1949, all right, that's when he made the book. Okay, predicted mass government surveillance, right? And what is the manifestation of that? Which I asked Chat, and it's gonna come later, but that's the data centers. All right. Constant monitoring, big brother, right? Remember the Patriot Act. Okay, they had to strike an event or generate a catastrophic event so they can bring this into play. All right, and most of what they do, it is orchestrated or is it's I guess you could say tactically, for lack of better words. It was tactical. All right. But that ain't the word I wanted to use. But anyway, propaganda-driven control. There's all the things that we see now: information manipulation, technology as an authoritarian tool, right? And that's uh, the AI, okay? And they're going to use AI to efficiently play the role of God, so they can be all seeing, all knowing, and then they're using the power of or computing power to do so. Okay, and that's that the number of his name, or the number, what it's like it's saying. It's Revelation 16. Oops, no, 13 and 16. Okay, Revelation 13, 16. All right. 13 and 18. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man. All right. And his number is 666. Okay. This devil has gotten to the level where he's, the technology, he's using technology, computing power to rule. Okay. And I think this chi-psi stigma, okay, 666. Let's see where it takes us. Okay. It says the meaning of which is the basis of much vain speculation. Yeah, basically, But when you go into it, all right, what was revealed, part of their that computing power, I believe, is the barcode that they set up, which is like it's a universal thing. Okay. Chi-psi stigma. Stigma, it says from primary to stick, i.e. prick, and mark, incision, or punched for recognition, right? Numbers, all right, or of ownership, the barcode, i.e. figuratively scar of service, mark, all right, like a receipt, it says a mark pricked and or branded upon the body. To ancient Oriental usage, slaves and soldiers bore the name of or the stamp of their master or commander, right? And so when you look at chi-psi stigma, it has to be, the receipt of branding, in my own words, okay, or the stigma of the stick, because essentially that's, you had to brand the slaves to know, who it belongs to, all right, and who has that, and that's a technology, okay, that Esau is using, all right. So I'll just read a little bit more. It says, or commander branded or pricked, cut into their bodies to indicate what master, yeah, it says it, or general they belong to. And there were even some devotees who stamped themselves in this way with the token of their gods. See, and his token is what? Money, his god is money, I mean. So going back, let's see here. H.G. Wells predicted technocratic global governance, right? And that's what we see right now. The control grid being put in place, flock cameras, and somebody just got arrested. I guess AI wrongfully identified somebody. Okay, and that's what you're gonna see a lot of too. AI is really faulty. It's faulty. It's not. It's accurate, but they don't give a damn as long as they can have the control grid in full swing. All right, as long as they can have it doing its job, is which them being able to be all seeing, all knowing. That's, all right. That's them reaching the height of the heavens. Okay. All right. This is what all this is about. Them reaching godhood, God level tier. All right. Or God tier. So it says scientific elites shaping society. H.G. Wells, 1866 to 1946. And that's right. The technocrats, guys like Bill Bates, Peter Pills. Okay. I'm saying the names wrongfully. I mean, wrong for a purpose. Okay, but I mean, it really don't matter, because now they got what they call objection AI. This is what I want to bring in. Uh, but I'm gonna get to that. Okay, I ain't gonna jump too. But you know what? It does go with it. Scientific, because it goes with the surveillance, and it goes into controlling the narrative, and it goes into punishing people for finding truths, and especially journalists pointing out truth. So man, we're neck deep in this thing. When you thought it was around the corner, you thought it was years down the line, it's right here, right now. Okay, it's right here, right now. You know, and so it says, scientific elites shaping society, surveillance like administrative systems supported the idea that centralized knowledge systems should govern populations, and the data centers is going to be able to do that. Okay, so as we can see, they've been predicting it, but this is what they've always envisioned. Okay, and of course, we already know that vision was given to them because the Lord raised them up. The Lord raised them up to do so. You know, So Nikola Tesla, while optimistic overall, he warned advanced machines could dramatically alter power structures. Technology could centralize influence. Wireless systems could create unprecedented control capacities. Even with things like robots and all the drones and all of that stuff, they've been thinking about it. They put it in sci-fi movies, predictive programming, all of that stuff, right? So now we're seeing Esau finally reach the tier that he was always meant to be at. Okay. And that's all. And it all goes back to his blessing, the sword, because he's using that sword. All right. It's an extension of his sword to to zero in on all his enemies, you know. Edward Bellamy, 1850 to 1898. And looking backward, I believe that's a book, Imagine Centralized Industrial Governance, and nationalized production systems, highly organized societal structures. Okay. And they're going to use AI in facilities to monitor employees, right? And it's going to monitor everything from what you do outside of work, as far as digital platforms, you know, everything that you're saying online, and possibly everything that you're saying in your own home. They're going to be able to surveil all of it. Okay. And that's why you see movies with that dystopian theme to it. Thought crime is a real thing. It's about to become a real thing. It is a real thing. Because it's so much corruption, and the knowledge of the corruption is so widespread. People are, they're 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 speaking out about it, and they want to silence people. And that's why you get this objection AI. They're silencing journalism. All right, journalists. Okay. All right, and I'll read a little bit about this. Objection AI is a platform that uses artificial intelligence to evaluate the truthfulness of claims made in journalism. Right. So these guys who are, at elite status, Edomites, All right. These Edomites who are at elite status has technology at their fingertips to stop anybody that is willing to expose them and discredit, because it's actually going to get into that, and it's going to be, well, it's going to say it here. It says it allows individuals to challenge media statements by filing objections, which are then investigated and adjudicated, creating a public record of the findings. Okay. Peter Thiel funded objection AI wants to. Let's see what this article says. Peter Thiel funded objection AI wants to rate the truthfulness of journalism. But what is it? Yeah, they're not playing. And this is the guy who's fascinated and obsessed with, I think, the Antichrist or something like that, you know? Here, I ain't reading. Let's listen to the article.
Peter Thiel funded objection AI wants to rate the truthfulness of journalism. But what is it by FP explainers?
Look at him, eating whatever he wants, never gaining a pound. While I'm stuck with the boring special and can't lose an ounce.
How's your lunch, man?
Amazing. Yours?
So good.
Oh, I'm so...
That's a damn commercial, man. Goodness gracious, man. Anyway, I'll just read it, man. Golly. I hope they don't make me fill out some shit to make. Okay. What is Objection AI? Objection AI has been founded by Aaron D. Souza, an entrepreneur. De Souza, like Thiel, helped fund the lawsuit against Gawker. He is also the founder of the Enhanced Games, an Olympic-style competition in which competitors can use performance-enhancing drugs. Wow. According to the Objection AI website, it calls itself the AI Tribunal of Truth. See, we got AI, all right, pretty much the judge on truth. Today, anyone can publish allegations. Almost no one can afford to challenge them. Objection changes that. It gives everyone a fast, affordable, evidence-based way. And that ain't what they're saying. What they're promoting to us is not actually what it is. Okay, they always dress it up. So we can go back, because we always know these Edomites, they always dress something up to make it seem like things are, for and benefit towards others, and fair, and really they got a nefarious plan behind it. Okay. So AI key features: AI Tribunal. The platform utilizes artificial intelligence to evaluate disputed claims, provided a systematic investigation and judgment. Public record. All findings from the objections are published, creating a permanent record of the claims and their resolutions. See? So now, if it's something that these people have been doing behind closed doors, them being the owners of this AI Tribunal or Objection AI, they can have it now where you can't say nothing about them because they use AI to object to certain claims. It's going to get real bad out here. And that's why the scriptures say what it say. Daniel 12 goes into that. These are going to be the worst times ever. Why? Because this man is at peak devilhood. He at peak, adversary mode. All right, he's finally reached that level. Okay, Daniel 12:1, it says, and at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people. And there shall be a time of trouble such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book. Right, so it's going to get so bad that the archangel Michael is going to have to stand up for the Israelites, the ones that they're actually going to be really targeting with these data centers and the, surveilling and prosecuting, because it's going, and Esau always moves the goalposts. You know, there ain't no laws saying that you can't speak truth against power, but they're making it so where they can persecute you and prosecute you if you do say something against the establishment, that discredits and scrutinizes the establishment, you know. So going back here, all right, tech predictions by philanthropists. All right, basically, these were the chip was always something that they had in mind at some point. They had to have visions on it. They had to see this thing. Well, John, the Revelator, saw it. You know, now elders always tell us that he literally. I mean, when he's explaining it, he's seeing it, but he's explaining it the best way he knows how. That Revelations 13, 15 to on down, that is literally dealing with society's economics being controlled or centralized. All right. And if you're speaking against the data centers and all of that, which is the image of the beast, is the way they're running societies, which is the image, the icon. All right. Then you're gonna be ousted. They're gonna cut you off in any way, shape, or form. They could cut you off, cut your aid off, cut certain things, freeze your wallet, to where you're not going to be able to buy and sell. And now they're tokenizing everything. They're putting everything on the blockchain, So everything is going to be in a centralized place, and everything is going to have that tag, a barcode to it. Right. And we told you, we warned you, starting with our apostles and elders, they consistently, persistently warned you of what's to come. And people are going to be looking dumb when they start implementing things. And it's going to smack Jake in the face. It's going to smack Jake so hard, they ain't going to know what to do. And a lot of them are going to give in to it. All right. To the systems that they have in place, especially the digital ID, which is the gateway to CBDCs, to that chip. Ultimately, it's the chip. Okay, because if you think they don't want to chip everybody, then you don't know this devil. Okay. Aldous Huxley, 1894 to 1963, is a Brave New World predicted psychological control, consumerism as manipulation. See? Right? And that's what you got, consuming. And they, in this world, they believe if the more material you have, the more richer and well off you are. People have been tricked to believe that. That's a real thing. Scientific governance, see? Basing all their studies off of scientific, and it's pseudoscience, right? Used to manipulate the populace. Soft authoritarianism through pleasure rather than force. Right. You what did my man Klaus Schwab said? He said, you will own nothing and be happy. Okay. So their prediction, they have already had the vision of what everything was going to look like. And that's why we're going to need help from out of this world. Okay. Oswald Spengler, 1880 to 1936, warned industrial technological civilizations could become dehumanizing. Right. And that's why do you think these data centers are pretty much taking up all the power? Because they don't view people worth, the how you say it. They don't, their data centers and their, what they're setting up is essentially is more important than human life. Because these data centers, they're eating up all the energy, it's poisoning the environment, or is using up all the energy in the environment. But the thing is, it's at the cost of the environment. I'll say it like that. And you think they care about these people? Hell no. They just said that drinking water or water is not a human right. All right. Who said that? I don't know who said that. Who said, excuse me, who said that drinking water is not a human right? Think we making this up? The CEO of Nestle, there you go. Peter Brabeck, Letmith, all right. The former chairman of Nestle has made statements suggesting that he believes water is not a human right. But water is here freely. That's what you got. You got the lakes, the rivers, the streams. All of that was put here to, nourish and maintain mankind. Okay. Otherwise, the Lord wouldn't put it there. The creation is perfect, right? And he created this thing. I think it's in Genesis where it says all of these things are good, and that his creation was good. And then there's one in the Apocrypha, which I read in the last lesson. So yeah, it's a real thing, man. And this devil, he's something, man. But he was employed, he was chosen, he was the perfect candidate to bring about the end time scenario. And nobody else could do that but him. Nobody else has the cojones, all right? Let's see here. Let me see. Was it 39? Oh yeah, here we go. Ecclesiastes 39:25. For the good are good things created from the beginning. So evil things for sinners. The principal things for the whole use of man's life are water, fire, iron, and salt, flour, wheat, honey, milk, and the blood of the grape, and oil and clothing, right? The Lord provided all those things freely. But now you have this tyrant, this base fellow of a man saying that no, none of these things are free. He's tokenizing all of these things, right? Verse 27, all these things are for good to the godly. So to the sinners, they are turned into evil. Yeah, these things are turned into evil. Okay. But the Lord said, well, his people, he said his servants was going to eat, Let's see what it says in the GNT. I wonder if they have an MSG version for the Apocrypha. I got to check it. Okay. So, Sirach 39:25, or Ecclesiasticus chapter 39, verse 25. It says, from the beginning, he had made good things for the good and terrible things for sinners. The basic needs of life are these: water, fire, iron, salt, flour, honey, and milk, wine, clothing, and oil. All these things are good for those who are devout, but they turn into evils for sinners. Right. And there's, part of what Esau is doing. He's bringing, he's the Lord's whooping stick. He's making these things evil, for the sinner, right? Because a lot of people that's going to get caught up in what's about to come to this place is, you know, it's like a lot of these things that's coming to this place is going to be meant for the wicked. Okay. Here. All right. 2nd Ezra 16 and 17. Woe is me, who will deliver me in those days. The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of evil. The beginning of famine and great death. The beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear, right? That the leaders of this world, they're going to stand in fear. It says the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? And why are these evils coming? Simply because what the ideals that they're bringing into the world. Because these men who are bringing these things, there ain't nothing but proprietors or men who pass down these traditions. Let me read a little bit more, and then I'm going to finish off those precepts. Core warnings. They shared centralized information, centralized power. Technology can become an instrument of governance. Surveillance may erode privacy and liberty. Propaganda and media systems can shape thought. That's right. Scientific advancement without ethics can threaten freedom. All right. Historical significance. These men often anticipated surveillance states, digital authoritarianism, bureaucratic technocracy, social engineering, corporate government data systems. Yep. What are the manifestations of their predictions, gifts, and the companies that have emerged? So many of the warnings from Orwell, Huxley, Tesla, Wells, and early technocratic critics are often seen today in the form of modern manifestations of their predictions: mass digital surveillance, facial recognition cameras, license plates readers, and by the way, flock cameras, they can, based on your plates, your license plates, they can issue a warrant out for you. Okay, if there's something bad with you in the DMV, they can alert nearby cops to your position, and that's how it's gonna get bad, man. It's already bad. People are already dealing with this. Okay, so smart devices collecting behavioral data, and I've just seen something where they're talking about they want to control behavior. All right. Let me see if I can find that. They want to control behavior. I think I might have posted it earlier. Let me see. Bear with me for a second, Slakia. Yeah, they want to control people's behavior. Okay. That's what they're saying at the World Economic Forum, and they're going to create systems to punish you. All right. So that they can, get that desired effect. Here. WEF control behaviors. And they're saying it out of their own mouths. Okay. Let's see here. Let me do this. Like I said, I'm just going in the spirit of Baba Rashad, bear with me, There we go. Is it gonna play?
Behaviors, and at BlackRock we are forcing behaviors.
Citizens will be on their best behavior. because we're constantly recording and reporting everything that's going on.
which would penalize, fine people who don't have the appropriate behaviors.
And we're going to need to change behaviors.
And short-sighted behaviors that undermine collective progress.
Yeah, collective progress. So if you don't believe in these systems, then you don't have a problem. You don't have a problem with you.